Hey, what's up everybody? Farmer Wayne. Hey, I've just thought about something. Thought I'd give out a quick tip for those who are getting into chickens, new to chickens. One of the questions that I get a bunch is how do I keep rats out of my chicken coop? So we're going to discuss that. I'm out here at the chicken coop. I'm picking up eggs today. Just happen to be out here checking on some other stuff. And then I thought about it. I was like, okay, let me answer that question. I get it in my inbox a lot about how to deal with rats. So let's go over a couple things on how to keep your place. You can't say rat free, they're gonna be around, but how can you avoid an infestation? Step one, how are you feeding your animals? Say that again, how are you feeding your animals? I know everybody sees on TV where you just throw out some chicken feed and your chickens are getting food on the floor and they're not eating it all, and any scrap of anything edible, you are feeding rats. Because most of it is probably enriched, you're giving rats way better food than nature ever intended for them to have, and that's why they end up breeding. How are you storing your food? I'm gonna flip this camera on. How are you storing your food? If you are not storing your food in a metal bin away from your coop, you're gonna have a rat problem. You are going to have a rat problem. Also, feeding your birds. If your birds are like mine, they have access to pastures, right? They can go outside. We're right here at the pasture door. I like them to go in and out as they please. All the way around they can go. They're all in here trying to avoid the hawks. Don't overfeed them. At the end of the day, I think it's like 3 o'clock. Hey, Bitsy. At the end of the day, that should be empty. You can take up, look, I'm gonna show you some signs of rats in a second. That should be empty. The water can stay there. It's not that big of a deal, but that should be empty. Your food should be stored there. So when you put your birds up, make sure your food's empty. Step number 2. Can you identify the signs of having rats in your barn? I got an obvious one for you. This is an old chicken coop. Well, I had a farmhand who, didn't really listen to anything I said because he knew everything. And you should keep food in here. And look what the rats did to this. That's an obvious sign of rats. They chewed through the plastic to get to the food that was caked up because it had gotten wet in there. Obvious sign. But there are some more subtle signs in your barn that if you know what you're looking for, you can tell how bad your rat infestation is. And here's one. Let me find it first. Let's find it. Probably a little better down the way. So rats travel the same route to and from, just like we do. If you live in Atlanta, you're going to drive 75, 85, 285, I-20. Rats are the same way. How you know that rats travel on a road? Just like our road. It's not full of debris and all kinds of crap. So we're going to look at this. 1, another rat sign, poop. 2, see all the cobwebs and everything? All the stuff that's on that beam. If I go 1 beam up, cobwebs, dirt, we're gonna go 2 feet up. 2 feet up, clean. You got a little more rat poop, but look how clean that is. All the way down right into the chicken coop. So the rat's probably stationed here for a couple seconds. Maybe he did one day. Stationed here for a couple seconds, then climbed up this beam, jumped on the freeway. There's a lot more poop and it's clean. You can even see, I can see it, I don't know if the camera picks it up, where he's rubbing up against the wall. That's rat sign number 2. That's something that's a little more subtle. You might not pick that up. So you want to look at that. Also, you want to look at the base of your coop for bare spots. Let me go inside and show you. Bare spots kind of indicate where the rat is coming in and out. Or snake. Could be a snake, but they're going to travel the same way. So right here, all this hay around, I don't see chickens scraping, but I see that this is pushed aside here and pushed aside there. So that tells me they're coming up. But when I look directly across from this, watch this. Big old pile of wood. Great place for rat to live. And if you watch any of our other videos, you know that we have ratted that thing a couple of times and killed 4 or 5 adult rats and got rid of the pinkies. So we know that's happening. They're going to be here. Good thing for us is that we have a rat that's more like a pack rat. I don't know if it's indigenous to Georgia or if it's invasive, but it's a pack rat. He likes to take stuff and make good nests out of it. So let's show you what a rat nest looks like. Let's take a look. And Bits and I have already identified this rat. Actually, I'm gonna pause and I'm gonna come around. Okay, we're back in the barn. We're gonna finish up on the signs of rats. So little things you gotta keep an eye out for. So this thing is a straight line, right? It's a board, straight line. Wait a minute, what's that? What happened there? Looks like Mr. Rat chewed himself an entry hole to get behind this board. See that gap there? Nice little space down there to make a nest. And I can see he did it in that corner because there's a little bit of nesting material. I think this may be like either storage or where he keeps, where he just uses for his restroom. Up here, like I said, we got pack rats. He built a little spot that he can hang out, took some rope, shredded it up real nice, made a nice mattress out of it. He's smart enough to know that he needs to be off the ground. The last 2 or 3 that we've destroyed have been very close to the ground. Gotten smarter. And also, if I come in here late at night, thought I saw him poke his head out. If I come in here late at night, he'll run and get behind that board. He'll get behind there and hide. I've popped it a couple times with my pellet gun. He won't come out of there. He knows that's a safe spot. So Bitsy knows there's a rat here. She's alerted to it earlier. She's on point looking. She was in here barking and screaming at it earlier. So we'll come in, we'll move this off, take this down, eliminate that hiding spot, and just make this a little less rat friendly. Also, we know there's a nest, and this kind of fits what I'm talking about the trail. Like, see how clean that is again? That's all clean. Clean, clean, clean. And I know that there is you can see it, an old rat nest in there. See that? From the piles 1, 2, 3, like she knows. Bitsy's caught a couple of them over here. So slats up, 1 from the ground, 2, 3 in between. See all that stuff poking out? That's a rat nest in the wood. And I don't know if it's still active. It doesn't look active. It hadn't changed. Usually rat nests change every couple of weeks. Yeah, she's working it. Good girl. Good girl. Where's he at? Where's the rat? You see it? Where's that? Good girl. Good girl. Yeah, she's keyed in. Good girl. So it might be there or might have left recently. But they're nice size, man. They're about 1 foot long, about 4 inches wide. And she crushes them real quick. And, and we keep moving. So that's what you're looking for. So keep your food clear. You see how it's a barn. We keep everything, we try to keep everything as neat as possible. We don't let a whole lot of manure pile up. I was on manure duty just a little bit ago, cleaning up manure. We layer the chicken coop with hay, and then every month or so we pull that out. We'll be cleaning that out. I took the floor out of the chicken coop. You got a floor in your chicken coop, the rats are going to stay under there. You can see the floor joist. And it's great. The chickens go down there and they roost on the joist. So that's what we do. And we try not, and they all coming in because it started to rain. We try not to just give them quarter. We harass them like she's doing right now, making it hard for them. We believe in letting everybody live. But if you're a rat and you coming out while we in here working, you good as dead. Nobody wants to deal with that. At least I don't. I'll pick up a snake in a minute. I can't stand a damn rat. Get him, Bitsy. Yeah, good girl. She's excited. So that's it. That's all it is, man. You want to have a nice clean flock like we got. You don't want to have rats all in your coop tearing up stuff, and because eventually they coming in your house. Tell them, Bitsy. Yeah, it's in there. Good girl. So this joker might pop out while I'm standing here, and I hope I don't scream. Good girl. Good. So when I get the other dogs so we can get the most out of it, I will pull that board down and they'll scatter if they're behind there or their babies are back there. And then we'll get them. The crazy thing about the farm is if the big chickens are here, they eat the babies. They'll just pick them up and eat them. The pinkies. Good girl, Bitsy. So that's it. Food, 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 food. Worry about where you have the food. Keep the food secure. Don't overfeed. These are chickens. They're smart. They know what they're doing. Like they know there's food up there near that pig pen because the pigs always spill stuff. They are very resourceful, and because you're farming, if you're doing deep bed method farming like we do, the worms are always coming up, the bugs are always coming up, there's dung beetles in here, there's larvae in here, so they're always eating something. Work them, Bitsy. Work them, baby. So they're always eating something, so you don't have to overfeed them. Feed them enough to get you good eggs, good egg production. But our chickens aren't necessarily here for eggs. They're here to work. What you see them doing is what they're here for. I've had 3 days of cows in this in this barn, and you can barely see any manure. Because if the manure is here, the chickens have scratched over it. Here's some. But the chickens scratch over it. That's from just a little bit ago. The chickens scratch over it. They scratch through it to make sure that there's no larvae in it, or if the cows had a chance to eat something and the seeds pass through them. The chickens want those seeds just like the rats want those seeds. So we want to make sure the chickens have out. See what she's doing right there? That keeps our smell down. That keeps our compost bin. This is all a compost bin. Our barn is one huge compost bin. That keeps the compost bin turned and keeps our chickens happy. And like I said, again, if you ever come to Swanson Family Farm, it doesn't stink. One is stocking density. We don't overstock. We're not greedy. But two, our chickens cover up. All the manure gets buried. So you can look at what we're dealing with. This is years of manure. Years and years of manure. And I don't think I've been in here to take it out in a couple of years. 2 years maybe. Dehydrated, dry manure. Keeps the smell down. And when I come in here, when I do a garden, I get a couple loads of this for my for the garden in a wheelbarrow, and I don't plant directly into it. I use it as an additive to the soil. Mix it all in really good. So that's what we're doing, folks. Just so I had that question about rats and how we keep rats down. So that's it, man. 3 easy steps. 1, your food. Contain your food. Know how much your animals are going to eat, and then put it up at the end of the night. 2, when you're putting up in the end of the night, secure it in the right spot. Work Bitsy's still working. In the right container. If you get some Tupperware stuff, the rats are eating through it. You get something that's a paper bag, the rats are eating through it. You hang bags out here, like when I bought this place, they used to keep bags. I had to tear this building apart because this was a tack room. The rats were so bold, they would just walk up to you. Like, are you dropping some food? We're gonna tear this bag open as soon as you drop it down. So we had to kill a bunch of rats. And the dogs helped with that, but we killed a ton of rats. So make sure you're storing your food properly. Make sure that you're not throwing food out on the ground that's not gonna be eaten. Throw food on the ground, make sure it gets eaten. Make sure it gets eaten or it gets covered up and buried. Yeah, she's still working. She's ready now. So that's it. That'll keep your rat population down. Get a BB gun, get barn cats. I have barn cats, I got a BB gun. You're never gonna finish all the rats. Anybody tells you that you can eliminate them, it's just not possible. They breed too fast. So that's what we're doing. I'm gonna go to the house, edit this video up, put a little sound and sights to it. And y'all have a good day. Swanson Family Farm. I'm gonna get out the rain and take these eggs in the house. Swanson Family Farm. Thank you.